What's good YouTube, Ben here, welcome to the next video on the channel. In this one, I'm going to give you my next Steel Path Viber build on Warframe. This is going to be for Yareli Prime. Let's get into this. Right, okay, so before we go in, I do have a couple of Archon shards on, but literally all they're there for is 30% maximum energy filled on spawn and 50% effectiveness on energy orbs. So it just keeps our energy going a bit. It's not that important, but I put them on whilst I was testing, so I'm just going to leave them on. But the build for Yareli Prime, so I'll quickly go over her abilities and what mods I've got on. So of course her passive, Yareli gains plus 200% critical chance for her secondary weapon when she has been moving for at least 1.5 seconds. Ability number 1, Sea Snares, form 5 water globules that seek out enemies and expand on contact, simultaneously damaging and immobilizing their victims. Enemies hit by the globules take increased damage from all sources. You got Merulina, which is her Wave Rider. Summon Merulina, a rideable creature of the waves and inspiration for K-driving. Merulina protects Yareli by absorbing a large portion of incoming damage. We've got Fire Blast. I've subsumed this on, so it's altered no overguard from Healing Flames Augment. Slam the ground to create a wave of incinerating plasma that knocks back enemies and strips their armor. And we've got Riptide, drag enemies into a crushing maelstrom and then blow them away in a watery burst. Each enemy trapped in the vortex increases the burst's damage. So I did subsume Fire Blast for armor reduction. Now, there is an arcane you can pair with that to make it even better, but I do not have it currently. It's extremely expensive and extremely rare, so I'm currently farming it, but I'll go over that in a minute. So for the Aura mod, we're going with Growing Power. On status effect with weapons, squad increases personal ability strength by 25% for 6 seconds, so it gives you quite a bit more, and your squad more power strength. We've got Archon Vitality for 100% health, and status effects from abilities that deal heat damage will be applied twice. We've got Redirection for 100% shield capacity. Fast Deflection for 90% shield recharge and 45% shield recharge delay. Primed Flow for 185% energy max. We've got Primed Continuity for 155% ability duration. Transient Fortitude for 55% ability strength and negative 27.5 ability duration. Equilibrium, health pickups give 110% energy and energy pickups give 110% health. And one of her augment mods, Loyal Merulina. So Yareli no longer rides Merulina, instead Merulina follows her and casts Sea Snare on nearby enemies. Now, you can only really use subsumed abilities if you have this augment on, because they only work when you're not on Merulina. So I've got this augment on to use Fire Blast so that I can remove armor. If stuff in my background just doesn't want to go flying because of a light breeze, that'd be great. But Arcanes, we've got Arcane and Energize on, so mine's only rank 2. On energy pickup, 60% chance to replenish 75 energy to self and allies within 15 meters. And I've got Arcane Battery. I've only put this on because I don't really have anything else that goes on her. But the Arcane you want, if you can get it, which again, it's expensive at the moment and rare, is Arcane Hotshot. So at rank 5, gains 6% weapon critical chance for 10 seconds when using abilities to inflict heat status effect on enemies, maximum 50 times stacks. So if you have this and use Fire Blast subsumed, it deals a lot of damage and you get a lot of critical chance. But I've got that in place. So without any further ado, let's jump into the mission. I'll show you what this thing can do. Alright, so as per usual, we're here at Oxmoco in the Void, and I'll quickly explain why we're here. So the Void is one of the latest game areas of the game, being in the Void. So here you're dealing with Corrupted, and with the Corrupted, you're dealing with enemies with just health, enemies with health and shields, and enemies with high armor, giving you a more varied example of what your weapon / Warframe can do. I also label this as a viable build because whilst it is viable for you to use it on the Steel Path and it will definitely get you through, it's not designed to get you to level cap, which is level 9,999 enemies. If it does, I do not know. I have not tested that myself and I'm not going to, considering that most players don't even want to do that. So, but anyway, without further ado, as soon as you come into the mission, activate your Wave Rider. You want to activate it as early as you can. The earlier you get that activated, the better, because otherwise you will probably die because of how squishy Yareli can be. Got her name for a second. Now, the thing with Yareli is you want to make sure you keep an eye on the Wave Rider's health. To the bottom right corner. The moment it starts going low, I would recommend resummoning it so that you have it there. Also, don't stop moving. With Yareli, you want to keep her moving even when you're shooting. If you stop moving, her boost will go with the critical chance, and I need to reactivate the Wave Rider. There we go. Oh no. There we go. Accidentally mashed too much. You want to make sure the Wave Rider keeps going. And then, of course, feel free to use her abilities at will. I only use her ultimate ability when there's a bunch of enemies grouped. So I did get rid of her third ability. The reason I got rid of it is because it's one of the ones you're not going to be using overly too much. So, because since this is a standard range build, you're not really getting too close to most enemies anyway. So it didn't make much of a difference. There is a way to do like a melee build with her. Jesus. Bloody wind is strong today. As you can see, you can get a bunch of enemies grouped, kind of like Zephyr's Tornado, and just start melting them in said tornado. So you can, of course, do that, which, as you can see, works absolutely fine. But it does have a pretty high energy cost, so it is entirely up to you what you want to do.
Hey, dreamers.
Now, of course, we're just going to go ahead and keep melting through enemies. Like I said, don't stop moving. The moment you stop moving, you're in trouble, because your Wave Rider will take... your Wave Rider will take more damage, but you'll also lose your critical chance boosts on secondary weapons. I mean, feel free to use other weapons as well. You don't have to limit yourself to secondaries, but I do for Yareli just because of the boost. You might as well. Now, the secondary weapon I'm using is Yareli Prime. My build for this is on my channel. It's a part of the Warframe playlist. I will link that build in the description of the video, so if you want to use my Yareli build, go for it. But like I said, there's no other boosts on Yareli other than the Archon shards that I've got on her, but that's just for energy. That's it. It's not for anything else. So I've not, like, done anything sneaky or anything. There we go. Get that back up. Another cool thing with her Wave Rider is when you activate the ability, it gives you a few seconds of invincibility. You get a little bit of guard. So it allows you to get your shields back up, which is nice. Because, for example, Wave Rider went. There we go. It's back up again. And I've got a little bit of invincibility to get my charge going so I can get my shields back. And thanks to having... my shield recharge rate a lot faster, I'm able to keep my shields recharging a lot of the time, which is also very freaking cool. There is an arcane you can use for that. Ooh, that melted my Wave Rider. There we go. And this melts you. Bye-bye. And as per usual, I will stay in long enough to get to the Acolyte, just so you can see what this build does to the Acolyte. Spoiler alert, works pretty freaking well. Of course, keep in mind that a lot of the damage you're going to be seeing is going to go based upon your secondary weapon and what its strengths and weaknesses are. Because, of course, different weapons have different strengths and weaknesses. One thing I did test, which you can do, which is really cool, is run a secondary weapon that's pure status. And then, because of the critical chance boosts you get from this, if you added, like, a critical mod, for example, you'd get a lot of the benefits of the crits, but also keep the status as well. So you can run both for, like, mega monster builds. It's insane. Right, I need to quickly get my Wave Rider back. There we go. Right, here we go. Right, ready? Fire Blast. Activate that. Where is he? Hello. And as you can see, you melt through health incredibly quick. Bye-bye. Boom. There you go. Pretty big easy clap, not gonna lie. Yeah, this is my build for Yareli Prime. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I think she's a really awesome frame, and I will be using her a lot more. But if you want to see more like this on YouTube, don't forget you can like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps with that YouTube algorithm. Don't forget you can also support the channel even further by becoming a channel member from as little as 99 pence per month. And don't forget I do live stream. When I go live here on YouTube and over on Twitch at the same time. My streams here on YouTube are in the shorts form feed, small for mobile. If you want to catch the exact same streams at the exact same time in full 1080p, feel free to join me on Twitch. That link is in the description below. And whilst you're down there, why not join into our group Discord where we can chat, chill, VC sometimes. Let me know. Hit me up. I'll catch you guys in the next one.